Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of etnow.in's Behind the Brand, a podcast where we uncover the people, the passion and the purpose driving India's most influential brands and leaders. Now today, we're joined by a dynamic leader who's been instrumental in shaping the evolving landscape of India's financial services sector. I have with me Mr. Anshul Arzare. He's the Managing Director and CEO of YES Securities. Now with over 2 decades of experience across wealth management, investments and financial planning, Anshul has played a pivotal role in steering YES Securities towards innovation, towards client centricity and sustainable growth in an increasingly digital world. Anshul, thank you so much for joining me here today. Very excited to have this conversation with you. First up, I want to know, let's start with your journey, with the journey of YES Securities, but more specifically about leadership. How has the journey of YES Securities been under your leadership, and how would you describe the company's evolution and maybe some of the key milestones?
First of all, thank you for hosting me today. I think we started this journey in 2013, and while we are on a traditional format are definitely stockbrokers, but at the very beginning the ethos was not to do a true blue broking. But we started with a vision and a direction that we have to be a wealth creation partner or to be partner in the wealth journey of the customers. And as we all know, equity is always one of the most important asset class in any wealth creation journey, because that's the asset class which gives you the desired alpha over your inflation, which is very difficult to achieve without equity as a part of your portfolio. So when we started this in 2013, day one, the ethos was to be a wealth partner to the customers' wealth creation journey, and we continued focus on research to give a quality advice to a customer. But if you look at traditionally a broker, when the word broker only means that you're earning brokerage, that's the DNA, and higher brokerages will be earned if the client transacts more. While our focus to our customers was never focusing towards transaction, but to creating a portfolio which will help him build a long-term wealth. So that's where we started, and that we continue holding. But how we transformed over a period of time from moving only equity as an asset class, which was the focus area in the very beginning, we moved towards the diversification of the asset class, which we feel is another very important aspect of anybody's portfolio, is the word diversification. So now in the current format what we are able to give a solutions on any asset class which the customer look forward to, and also to guide a customer on a right mix of asset class depending on the customer's risk appetite and his outlook towards what is intending to from his wealth journey. So that's how we have transformed.
Fantastic, and that is very important, Anshul, because you kind of, the customer is always should be the focus of any business, any service. You've been instrumental in shaping YES Securities' journey, its growth story. What in your mind would be some of the key leadership principles that have guided your decisions through this period of transformation?
So I think from the very core of leadership, I feel the one important aspect is the clarity on the what you want to do. So that as an organization, when we look at it, the most important thing is to have a very clear vision. So that's, I think, is the start point. So we have a very clear vision of empowering generations to invest wisely, securely and seamlessly. So that's one aspect which I feel is the most critical when you look at any leadership role. The second important aspect is the purpose. So now once we have a vision, then what is the purpose of it? So for us, the purpose is to create a wealth for our customers and help them build a wealth. Yes. So and that consistency of purpose has to be there in all your actions. So I think that's something, the second important aspect of any leadership activity, if I can say so. And the third most important, I feel, which last but not the least, is people. So an organization is not about the infrastructure which you have, the swanky offices which you have, or the laptops which you have, or an IT infra which you have. The most important aspect of any unit is the people who run it, and you don't run it alone. So if every individual which is there as part of the team, every team member is important in this journey, and I think that is one aspect which I feel is you are dealing with humans and not humanoids We may be dealing with humanoids in future, but at least today you are dealing with humans and you will continue dealing with humans. So, that empathy towards the team and to have a human aspect to the entire chase towards the vision is something I feel is very, very important.
Absolutely, you hit the nail on the head, Anshul, because empathy is really important along with a strategy. The leader has to manage both. But in your personal experience, how do you manage, maybe the short-term vision, which, I mean, any company always is, companies are looking at profit and those are the short-term vision, but the long-term vision, like you said, to be a wealth partner to your customers, that comes from consistency you spoke about, that comes from building trust.
Right.
So how do you manage both these aspects?
So, you're right. So, there is always a quarterly board meeting there, so you always have those quarterly objectives, you always have that financial year objectives, which are maybe more transactional and financial in nature, but those are just the intermediate milestones to achieve the larger goal. So, as long as you are clearly focused on your long term goal and vision, these are just the milestones which you need to achieve in between, because otherwise that entire journey towards the goal will be meaningless. So, these are the checkpoints, I will say, the quarterly or a monthly numbers, achievements and all that, these are just the checkpoints that keeping you on your track of the larger vision. So, I think they are equally important. I mean, these also gives a testimony to your execution capabilities. So vision is great. I mean, it's very simple to have a strategy in place, but every strategy goes meaningless without execution. So that these milestones only help you to stay in line with your vision and not deviate.
That's absolutely important there. Anshul, the financial services landscape in India is evolving, it's adapting, there's a lot of innovation happening. There's a new breed of young financial leaders also that have come in this space. Your thoughts, what are some qualities that should define the next generation of financial leaders in India?
See, this landscape is really, really changing. And you are absolutely correct that the way boomer had a expectation on his wealth and how those people treated their wealth, or the if I can say so, their outlook towards what is wealth has completely transformed and changed and is changing. So, what is wealth? What was wealth to a millennial or a boomer is not what is wealth to a Gen Z or maybe a Gen Alpha in the coming times. So, I think what's the most important thing out here is, do you have as an organization a clear North Star? What is your focus? Where are you going? In this journey, you will definitely have to align yourself to the ever evolving needs of the young audience or the new audience, if I can say so. So, this audience is new, this audience is young, this audience has a very, very different outlook towards wealth, expectations, and they are risk takers now. They have a better risk appetite and their ability to experiment with new investments is also high. Not because they are, I will say, not just because they are new age, but their appetite to risk is wide and has widened. And they are very, very digital savvy. So, I think digital is something which is a new playground. So you cannot be, you cannot ignore it. For that matter, it's become the new normal.
Absolutely.
So, any services today which you like to offer has to be digital.
So, next point to that, Anshul, is as this landscape is evolving, how is YES Securities leveraging digital innovation to stay ahead, to deliver the best services to your clients who are looking at you, like you said, as a wealth partner?
Yeah, so I think one focus which we have today, and we have understood what is how the behavior has changed in the past, let us say 5 to 7 years, and it is changing much faster and will be changing at a much faster pace in the coming years, is the personalization space. So the individuals today are needing a very, very specific information, a very, very concise information. So, what we are leveraging digital as to know that much more of an individual to show him that much less, because the concentration span has really reduced. So, probably videos which used to be 2 minutes people were happily seeing has reduced to maybe 20-30 seconds. So, if you can't deliver a content which is specific to the requirement of the person loses the interest. How good your advice may be, he is not even looking at you.
Right.
Because he loses interest very fast, that patience levels are down. So, I think what we are trying to do and leverage the technology to know the customer that much more, so that we can show them that much less and be very specific to the requirements.
That's very well put. That's very well put. One important part of this digital landscape now is AI and data, and how data innovation is being innovated, how data is being used. How are you seeing YES Securities using that, or rather more, how do you see that impacting the future of the advisory and the brokerage business in India?
You're right. So, we keep churning between ourselves that beta झूठ बोल सकता है पर data झूठ नहीं बोलता है. So data is very, very important, and how AI helps you today is to analyze the data as deep as you want to and in a fraction of seconds. So that I'll correlate with being able to hyper personalize the solutions, because now you have any and every data of the particular individual if through his transactions. So, you are able to identify what is the persona of the person. So, this is not an era of 1 or 2 or 5 personas which defines the entire universe. You will have probably thousands of such personas, and the AI in that format is able to distinguish and build multiple personas basis multiple transaction analytics, and able to give those specific outcomes which are suitable, or at least looks suitable to the specific person whom we are targeting. So that is where we feel that AI will play a big role, because what analytics a normal individual could have done through the data in a matter of 5 days, it can happen in a matter of 5 maybe microseconds today. So that's the investment which anybody and everybody will have to do over a period of time, because people will look at those kind of solutions which are very specific to their requirements.
So, and Anshul, you were earlier talking also about how the younger generation will be having different needs with regards to financial services and advice. YES Securities is also looking towards many first-time maybe investors, young investors who are just getting into the markets, getting exposure to this new kind of this asset class. While you spoke about content and you spoke about AI and data analytics, how more are you able to, what's the focus towards being able to give them the right kind of financial guidance? How's that coming into focus?
Yeah, so I mean when you do analytics, so the most important is first you have to also use this tech to kind of guide the customer that what is right. Because in the era of so much information floating around and very difficult to authenticate that information in the world of WhatsApp and YouTube and all that, it's very difficult. And typically AI, on the negative side of AI, is what all videos you see today, you really don't know whether they are real or fake. So to that extent it is also important to keep guiding the investors not getting distracted.
Yes.
Certain things look simple, rather I will say that investing ethos are very simple actually, so but to remain simple and straight is now a difficult task in this era. So people take simplicity as probably I am not giving enough options, which is not the case. Simplicity is just this is it, this is as simple as this, please accept it.
I think Warren Buffett has said that very often not making an investment has been his best decision. Every time doing things is not the right thing.
Absolutely, taking a clue there. I think lot of time and we face these challenges with our customers when we were kind of guiding them what to do during turbulent times or volatile times, and we were saying don't do anything today, don't do anything this month, just stay put. And the customers were little getting uncomfortable, asking us that why are you not telling me to either buy or sell. I said, sir, doing nothing is also a decision. So that's the biggest challenge I think in the new era we all will face, that telling the individual or an investor not to do anything for the time being.
Absolutely.
And when he is craving with all the information around in whatever formats and wanting to press the button, and the biggest challenge for all us good advisors would be not allowing him to press that button.
Because that is when they have this FOMO, the fear of missing out, because there's
Then-
so much
yeah.
noise coming from
So
everywhere.
much noise
else.
coming in, and then will I miss out and all that. And how to navigate that behavior dynamics is, I think, going to be one of the challenging parts for our business in the coming years.
Absolutely. I want to talk to you about one other exciting part that's coming up on the community front from your end. I know YES Securities is the first ever cyclothon is happening on 9th November in Mumbai. Tell us a little bit about that. How did the idea come about? Tell us a little bit about the cyclothon.
Yeah, so I think cycling is a bit close to my heart as well, and I feel cycling is one of the most fit cardio activities, second best to swimming, if I can say so. One of the reason behind it, and typically in concrete structures which we have in metros, is running, which used to also been seen as a good cardio exercise. We don't have enough grounds to run, because running has to be a little bit on a softer surface as compared to the concrete surface. It gives you a lot of pressure back on your ankle and knee joints, where in the case of cycling or a swimming, your joints are not pressurized. So I think from that perspective, cycling is a little close to our heart. But at the same time, cycling also is all about patience, it's all about discipline, it's all about endurance, which we feel are also the most important aspects of any portfolio. So you have to stay disciplined, you have to be patient with your portfolio, and you have to wait for things to happen, the results to come, which is also in a case of any cardio will not give you results overnight. But you have to continuously do it to see the results. So to see that fitness level go up from one notch to other, it will take some time. So for a portfolios also to deliver a right set of return, it will take some time. There will be intermittent volatilities in the market. You have to navigate, be patient around it, and continuously doing it. So you have to continuously pedal to cycle 20 kilometers. You know, so you have to continuously be with your portfolio for it to give results. So I think hence cyclothon. At the same time, beyond this, I think it's also important to stay healthy throughout your life. So while your financial portfolio also to remain healthy, which you can do a lot of advisory, you can take it, and which can be digital. Unfortunately, for a physical health, it has to be all physical activity only. So you can't have a digital mode to get physically fit. While your digital mode can be there for a fit portfolio, but for a physical fitness, there is nothing called digital.
Superb. And what part of the brand ethos does this kind of connect with? Community building, financial awareness, even if, like you said, fitness, living a healthy life? What's the thought behind that?
So I think one bigger thought behind is the word discipline. You know, so for a good portfolio to build up over a period of time, or for that matter, for anybody to be successful in any area, the one common word is discipline.
Yes.
So whether you take a football player, whether you take a cricketer, whether you take an entrepreneur, everybody has a disciplined approach towards what they were chasing, and they had to continuously follow the discipline to stay on top. So I think that's the bottom line for us, that cycling gets you into a lot of discipline, and that's something very, very important for you for a healthy portfolio as well. And mental health and financial health, they go hand in hand. You know, if you are mentally fit and you take good decisions, if you are financially fit, you also take good decisions. I am not about only financial decisions, but overall decisions. If you are burdened with your lagging financial health, then you are not as normal in your decision making on other parts, because that burdens you a lot. Similarly, if you are not physically fit, your day doesn't start the way it should start. You know, so they go hand in hand. So I think that we have to add a lot of physical fitness vector to people in a long term, and that could be realized only
through
today. That's today's the day.
And of course, for our viewers, if they do want to participate in the cyclothon, we'll give them the details of how they can register for the cyclothon. Anshul, you know, how do these initiatives like this align with your company's broader vision of promoting both financial and personal well-being, both among clients as well as employees?
Yeah, so I think one thing which we are very, very clear on, and at least I am very clear on, is to build a right culture. You know, you can have a right strategy for sure, but the right culture is of a more importance. So, I very strongly feel that cultures eat strategy every day in a breakfast, and that's a very known phrase, but I really believe it, because if you do not have a right set of culture which also entails health and proper, and we are into business of wealth management, so that is our DNA. So, that's our DNA, but health is something which also be part of, should be a part of your culture, and hence I keep promoting 4 F's whenever I interact with my team. So, which is family first. So, we all are social animals, and for us the most important is family. So, family first. Whenever, if you are not being able to be with your family when you need it, there is no point on earning so much financial wealth, creating so much financial wealth. So, that is one, family first, and then fitness. So, when you want to take care of a family, you have to first fit yourself. So, I keep telling that whether you want to take care of a family or you want family to take care of you. You know, so for that you need to be fit yourself. Third is the financial health. Obviously, it plays a big role, whether a big amount or a small amount, but at financial health, if you are financially sound, then your decision makings are pretty standard and good and healthy decisions. Otherwise, you are burdened a lot with your own problems and worries. And the 4th F, which I keep talking about, is food. So, I am otherwise a foodie, but I think food plays a big role in your life. So, what you eat is what you are. So, I think that is where we feel that if these are the 4 things, then this should drive that kind of a culture in our organization, where people feel empowered, where people can take decisions, and where people feel free to take risks, and at the same time they are able to spend good time with their family. So, work life balance, I feel, is very, very important.
Absolutely. So, family, fitness, financial health and food. Fantastic, well done. You know, Anshul, our podcast, the name is Behind the Brand. It's all about what the people which you were speaking about, the values that make companies and leaders iconic. So, just wanting to get some of your thoughts on what are some of the philosophies that drive YES Securities as an organization. What are some of the core values behind the organization?
So, I think there are a couple of core values which we work on. So, first one is ambition. So, where we get that from, that if you are not ambitious, how will you get that growth? You know, if I have grown, so I started my life with a last mile resource who is doing the end point sales at some point of time, and today if I have reached somewhere, is only because I am part of the organizations which are growing. So, I grew myself with those organizations. So, if had the organization not been growing, I would not also grown. So, we need to be ambitious. That is very, very important, because we have a responsibility towards entire team members of ours who is looking for growth in their careers with one or the other organization. So, why it should not be YES Securities only? So, you know, that is one thing. So, the second important vector is accountability. You know, so because there are so many people responsible for various different things, and if they do not feel accountable for it, you do not get the results, or you keep struggling for the results. So, I think that is the second thing. I feel accountability is one of our core values. The third core value which we focus on is long term vision. So, as we said, ambition means you are here for long term, and the long term means that you are able to take care of the team for a longest period of time possible. And we are not here for short term game of trying to take opportunities on whatever is in short term in the market. Wealth creation is not short term phenomena, it is a long term phenomena. So, whatever we do and whatever we tell our team members to focus on is with a focus on long term objectives and not a very, very short term objectives, that front. And the fourth one of the most important vector also is innovation. So, because there is an ever changing world, and innovation gives you to address the solutions in the most appropriate manner. You know, otherwise traditional methods are good, great, they may be, but they may not be relevant to the.
So, Anshul, you know, just taking this ahead, how do you ensure the ownership, innovation, collaboration, all of these, the long term vision? How do you enable employees to to walk the talk? How do you get them to put this into action?
Yeah. So, first of all, there is no employee in YES Securities. We are all a team.
Beautiful.
So, it's a team of YES Securities and, who is free to take decisions, who is where the failures are celebrated, where we allow failures to happen. You know, because when you say, you are absolutely right, I mean, and we chase larger numbers which may sound little unrealistic today, but we keep telling people that look beyond, do not look at some jump on your percentages on your base today, look at what vast opportunity industry is giving us. So, chase that, take the higher benchmarks. If we do not touch those benchmarks, does not mean we have failed.
Yes.
At least we have attempted to go beyond our capabilities, and I very strongly feel that whatever we think, we can achieve.
Beautiful. So, Anshul, you know, the inherent nature of equities is volatility. So, of course, the markets are volatile in all periods, and sometimes they are up towards the top, sometimes they are towards the bottom. Your thoughts on the role of leadership in fostering resilience, in fostering trust during periods of market volatility? Because I personally believe that is the time when, you know, you need the most of guidance.
Right. So, I think you are right. So, volatility is what you can't choose, it is there,
Yeah.
you know, it will be there in every phenomenon, but what you can choose to not to panic on that occasions, right. The most important thing is how do you navigate the volatility and how do you react to those situations is something very, very important, and we try to build that trust with our clients also, that and try to put across that we are there to help you navigate this volatility. We are not there to eliminate volatility, we can't.
Right.
You know, so volatilities cannot be eliminated. There would be so much of noise around the world, and now the world is so connected that any single incident happening in the far of nation also have a direct or an indirect impact on your working today. So, this you cannot avoid, but what you can avoid is stay calm, stay focused, and allow things to settle down, but be with the customers on those times. So, the most important is not how do you react to the volatility, most important is how do you give that confidence that we are there to navigate this volatility and together.
That's the important part, and I think that key, that last word, together, is what is really important. Anshul, as we look towards 2026 and even beyond, your thoughts on what can we expect from the capital markets, and more importantly from the wealth creation, the wealth management ecosystem?
So, I think you are on a cusp of a breakout, if you ask me. How this wealth has generated over a period of time. If you have an economy growing 6% plus for a year on year basis for so many years, and that large of an economy, I think the wealth was bound to explode at some point of time, which the time has come, I guess. What has happened also along with that is when the wealth is there, the risk has also gone up, and the financialization of wealth is now started happening. So, while I may have wealth in other formats, but the time has come for the financialization of wealth, and which is happening very rapidly. You look at how the mutual fund AUMs have grown over a period of time, and what has the growth rate been in the last 3 to 4 years as compared, you can compare it with the SIP numbers which are there. Some point of time they were 3,000 crore a month, has gone to 29,000 crore a month. So, that evolution is happening, and people, thanks to digital penetration of the entire ecosystem. So, you probably have 98% of the districts pin codes have a demat account today. You know, so it has reached, the reach is complete now. It's a matter of time when that physical wealth moves to financial side of move to financial wealth and is available to be managed. Because the new generation is looking at lot of advice, lot of validation to their research work which they have done on their self, that what should be done, but they look for these validations. So, they are not the one whom you can tell on a blackboard and write, do this. That is not the way you interact with them today. You ask them what do you need, what is your analysis, and they just look at a validation of that analysis. But since that validation is now available digitally, so the proliferation of digitalization of wealth is going to be super fast from here.
Beautiful, because and it's so true, because like you said earlier, there's so much of information out there that even before they come to an advisor, people now must be doing, like people would earlier have searched on search engines before going to a medical doctor. I think it's the same for when they come to the financial advisor as well.
Absolutely, and then the point here is he will still not take whatever you are guiding him on the face of it. He'll go and revalidate that.
Well, but that's
Which is good, which I'll say is good, because now he's
Exactly.
in more control. It is more of an informed decision rather than just believing on somebody.
And an educated
Investor. Yes.
So for Yes Securities, the way ahead, what are some of your some of the biggest opportunities, whether we are talking about, you know, using of technology, the products that you're offering, the services, the products that you're offering, even investor education, what are some of your biggest opportunities that you see?
So I think one more important aspect here is catching them young. Because today even a young generation who is not even in college today, maybe in school, have an exposure to what is equity, what are stock markets, and it is very, very important to make them understand more basics of it rather than for them to learn it from WhatsApp University. You know, so what we have been trying to do that is trying to reach out to colleges, trying to build an inroads and give a first-hand understanding of how wealth should be managed. And it's not a rocket science, it's very, very simple, but you have to keep it simple also.
Yes.
You don't make it complex. So I think we have one property which is called Wonga Vets, so where we are conducting through a financial contest, to say so, based on financial concepts. So we have reached out to around now this year, in this year's format, around 15 odd regions where we have moved around, and the grand finale would be in Bombay. So that is one initiative which we have taken to reach out to young minds and inculcate the importance of financial literacy and understanding basics of financials through that initiative.
It's so very important, because it's most important to give them the right knowledge rather than them getting the incorrect or incomplete knowledge from somewhere else.
Absolutely.
Anshul, finally, just my last question to you. If you had to sum up the future of Yes Securities in one line, what would that be?
So I think in a one line, well, it's very, very difficult to summarize that way, but to build a very, very healthy financial ecosystem through our platform, where you know, the performance meets the purpose. That's one thing, and where we use the innovation, but to continue to be as integral part of the journey as possible, and maintain the integrity in our solutions. So I think that's the chase which we will have in the next couple of years.
Fantastic. Anshul, it was an absolute pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for sharing these incredible insights on how you're seeing the wealth management space evolve, on innovation, the role of technology, and importantly, the behavior of the evolving customer. It's been an absolute pleasure interacting with you, and you truly are, you know, the ethos behind what we've been trying to capture with our show Behind the Brand. So thank you once again for joining us here today. And for all our listeners and our viewers, please don't forget to follow etnow.in for more conversations with the change makers that are shaping India's business future. My name is Sumit Lakhotia, and this was a special episode of Behind the Brand. Until next time, stay curious and stay inspired. Thank you so much.